If you're not familiar with farro, it's actually an Italian word for emmer wheat. So it's a type of wheat. It's pretty simple to cook. You cook it like you would brown rice or something. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes to cook, and you want to be kind of sampling it along the way to make sure it's completely done. When it's done cooking and it's still hot, you're going to drain it, and then while it's still hot, you want to coat it with a tablespoon or two of olive oil just to keep it from sticking together and keep it kind of separated and loose. This is a vegetarian dish, and we're going to use roasted mushrooms. And this is a variety of different mushrooms. Some of them are just your regular white button mushrooms. These are the baby bellas, which have a little bit deeper flavor maybe. And then these are some really beautiful chestnut mushrooms that I was able to get from a grower at the farmer's market this weekend. And I just think they're really beautiful. I haven't had them before, so I'm not really sure what they taste like. I mean, they smell like a mushroom. I failed to get the exact name for these, and I wasn't able to figure it out. They have this kind of dusty brown, powdery looking top. So I'm excited about these mushrooms. To store your mushrooms in the fridge before you're ready to cook them, it's always a good idea to put them in a paper bag. They will keep much longer in there. They don't get all, slimy and stuff. And if you should happen to forget about them and they stay in the fridge too long, you can actually save them as dried mushrooms, because when they're in the paper bag, they will sort of just dry out. Put them on a big baking sheet, and we're also going to put some sliced shallots in there. You could use onions as well, that's fine. Put in a few pieces of kale, just to add a little bit of greenery and color to the dish. Fresh thyme, and you just want to leave the sprigs whole, but try to kind of keep track of how many you're putting in there, because we're going to pull those out after they roast. 2 or 3 tablespoons olive oil to that. And initially there is going to be some steaming going on in the oven just because of how close these are together, but it's okay in this case. That moisture is going to evaporate. Fresh ground pepper on there, but of course we always want to season with salt. First they're going to release a lot of moisture, and then once that starts to evaporate, they're going to start roasting and caramelizing a little bit. And so you're going to want to go in there and stir, mix it up a little bit every 10 minutes or so, and just kind of keep an eye on them. So our mushrooms are out of the oven, and you're going to want to pull out those pieces of thyme like we talked about. And so now it's just a matter of assembly. So we're going to put the farro into our baking dish, add these mushrooms, toss all these things together, really get those mushrooms distributed well throughout. And then we're going to add a cup of mascarpone cheese. This is a soft Italian cheese. Going to really make this into a rich and satisfying dish. So this dish is definitely inspired by one from Melissa Clark in the New York Times. I did make a lot of variations to it. This is about a cup of chopped parsley, and we're going to add all but maybe a 1/4 cup of it. I also like to throw in these cherry tomatoes. You don't want too many because you don't want all that liquid. Every so often you get kind of the pop of that nice tangy cherry tomato. And at this point you can taste it to make sure it has the seasoning it needs. Then you want to kind of smooth it out, sprinkle on some Gruyère cheese. So now we're just going to put it in the oven, and it's really just to heat it through and to get that cheese nice and melty on top, and that's really it. So you're not baking this for a long time. It really can probably be in there for about 10-15 minutes. It'll be done. The cheese is nice and melted and oozy. It looks great, and the finishing touch is just to sprinkle a little bit of that leftover parsley on top, and that's it. That is a great flavor combo. The mascarpone really lends so much richness, and the mushrooms have that great umami flavor coming through. It's just very savory, simple flavors, but really It's the flavor of the mushrooms coming through. It's the flavor of the cheeses. I'm always happy when I find a dish like this that I love, but that's using a whole grain. So I hope you will try this. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe. And you can listen to the Earth Eats podcast at eartheats.org. Thanks. We'll see you next time.